Welcome back to the Crown Rare Podcast, your source for all things Pokemon Pocket. I'm Royce, and this is my buddy Zen Zatumi, who's about to hit 100k subs. So if you haven't already subbed to him or this channel, you be sure to hit that sub button. But yeah, how you feeling, dude?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. We're having some audio issues and some technical difficulty. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so hopefully this episode actually records. Yeah. Would you guys believe this is our fifth attempt trying to record an episode for you guys?
Yeah.
Subscribe and like the video, David.
Yeah, just for our efforts. Like the fact that we powered through this for as long as we did, just trying to get.
It's a little too soon, right? We don't even know if this is the one.
Don't stop jinxing it. Stop jinxing it. Right. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Absolutely.
What are we talking about today, Royce?
All right. So as usual, we're gonna briefly cover the events and happenings of the game, and then we're going to talk about the deck lists that are kind of meta at the moment. And then kind of round it off with the meat of the topic, which is who are the biggest winners of the new SSSSSSS tier card that is Rare Candy. So we got a pretty interesting one. I'm looking forward to the Rare Candy portion of it because I don't operate in the meta scene, and you're more well versed in that. So we got everything you guys might want. So be sure to stick around. All right. So
honestly,
yeah, go for it.
I was gonna honestly, we skipped the meta, go straight to the Rare Candy. But let's talk about the events first, if you want.
Yeah. So let's jump into that. There's only 2 events happening right now. We still got the Rayquaza, aka the Greninja event. Again, I've said this before. This is a Greninja event. Every time I do that thing, like I got all the cards. I'm just doing it for fun, I guess. Every time I for funsies, and every time I play it, I'm always just going up against Rayquaza, Manaphy, and Greninja, and it's just.
I forgot that they even had a Greninja. I think speaking of Greninja, real quick, and what we're going to talk about later, I think Greninja is the winner of Rare Candy. I just gotta throw that out there.
Greninja. Spoiler alert! We gotta save it till the end so they stick around till the end.
I had caffeine. My head's everywhere. I'm talking about Greninja now. Greninja's phenomenal. But yeah, the Rayquaza event.
Yeah, the Rayquaza event I feel like is more of a Greninja event, honestly. Cool. We got a Rayquaza card. We also get the full, sparkly card from like doing all the tasks and stuff, which is cool. Rayquaza's just an inferior Dragonite. Come at me. I don't care if it's colorless. I'm just saying. Saying.
Well, if we're shooting shots here, how does it feel to know that the first ever dual energy deck list to win tournaments wasn't Dragonite, yet they used a Water Lightning? Yeah, I'm talking Greninja or Ikorio just out here winning tournaments, and your Dragonite's what is he doing? Huh?
So I don't care about anybody.
Real quiet right now.
No. Here's the thing. Yeah. My Dragonite needs to be at the scene. So everybody else's Dragonite is whatever, but I am the true. I'm Lance. I'm the villain. I am the hero.
So this is my
scene.
When's the tournament coming?
All right. Okay. So I actually might just to prove a point. Like Dragonite superiority, like forever and always. Like my boy is currently getting, too much shade thrown at him by Zatumi over here. So I might actually do it. So I might stream it or make a video or make a video about it. So we'll see. Yeah. It'll be really bad if I get like just swept in just the first round. But
you still make a video.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you think I care about losses, bro? You haven't seen half the videos on my channel. Half of them are just me losing in like embarrassing fashions. I feel like the current event is like I see them use Greninja a lot more. Rayquaza is just fodder. Like by the time they get set up, I whoop it. So
that's kind of the issue with Rayquaza is it just takes forever to get online. I like using Delcatty over Manaphy, to be honest, because Delcatty ramps it. You could run it with Regigigas as well, and just start ramping either or. And if they hit any of your normal colorless Pokemon, Ilima.
Yeah, Ilima.
One of the best new supporters. Yep.
Agreed. Bounce it out. I feel like Delcatty has its advantages that it ramps and does damage, whereas Manaphy does not. Delcatty also has 90 to Manaphy's like 50. Downside, it's a stage 1. And the other downside is it attaches it to one bench Pokemon, but you have to pick and choose like whatever you prefer. If you want to give up the like 2 energy, if you want to take 1 energy as opposed to spreading out 2, cool. But it's much tankier. It's almost twice as much HP. So I'm kind of with you on that. But yeah, so we got the Rayquaza event going, and we also got the Wonder Pick event happening, and you can get a bunch of like cool cosmetic things like display cases and card sleeves.
Sneak peek as well, right?
Yeah,
that's currently going on. The sneak peek.
Yeah, the sneak peek. Yeah, I think that's all under that whole like Wonder Pick title or whatever. But yeah, you're right. The sneak peek event. Obviously, every time I use this, like it happens every time I Wonder Pick at least.
Oh, lucky guy.
Is it really? Because I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't happen for me, Mister. I hit double crown rares for the pack.
Listen. Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
I am hating the game,
but I'm also hating the player. So you can get like card sleeves, coin flip, like the Solgaleo coin. Anyways, all right, moving on. Finally, now that we got that stuff out of the way, we can get into the decks that are currently running the meta. Let's see. What is your current experience on now that you've got your feet wet with like rank matches, and you had explained how a couple of episodes ago you grinded it out in the first 3 days and it made you miserable. So what have you learned? Are you less miserable?
I learned that Greninja really is the best for the rare candy, like top, because it has the most first place winning deck lists, or at least being included in them, right?
Yeah.
So we have things like Giratina, Greninja, but then they also throw in like Oricorio or Shaman as well, or a Snorlax with Berry Tech, right? So that's like the one that won the most this past week. Then you have Darkrai Giratina. Surprise, surprise, still amazing. But then people are also now including Greninja with the Darkrai Giratina.
Yeah.
So that's disgusting. We have Darkrai Drud Greninja. So again, Greninja is really up there. And then secondly, Rampardos decks are pretty strong. I'm seeing different variations with Lycanroc. That won a tournament this past week. I also see a lot of Garchomp EXs on ladder, but not winning tournaments. I haven't seen them win tournaments this past week. What else is up there winning tournaments? Honestly, it's really the Greninjas that are winning the most tournaments. Incineroar, I think, got a first place in 3. And then everything else is just one-offs. There was a Gallade that I think we should talk about, a Galate deck list that ran no rare candies.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like maybe it's something in the tournament, right? The event had some sort of clause where they didn't require. But they weren't the only one. There were other tournaments with other Gallade players also running no rare candies.
Yeah.
Post rare candy update. It doesn't like I'm kind of confused on that.
Yeah. So they were
But
running.
they won. So what am I? Yeah. I don't know. 2 Curlies.
They ran 2 Research, Osiris, Sabrina, Iono, Mars. Like all of these are every single card in this deck list feature cards pre Celestial Guardian. Which is amazing because I feel like Gallade, here's my spoiler, is one of the winners of Rare Candy. Because it follows the same like formula as Greninja. You know what I mean? Like it only requires 2 energy, and anything like any stage 2 that requires 2 energy, like you get online really quickly, and it's just boom, you dish out so much damage in such a energy heavy meta. Like it's definitely a great card, and just like you said, dude, Greninja's everywhere. I don't know what happened. Like the card has always been good. It's just everywhere now. We got like variations
rare
of
candy.
the Darkrai. Yeah, great. Yeah, I don't know why I said I don't know what happened. You're right. It's literally
Rare candy happened. Halloween came early.
Yeah, it's facts. They should have dropped that around Halloween. You might be on to something.
No, this is better.
Speaking of on to something, I completely forgot, bro. I realized on my commute to work, you called it that it was going to be a Lola, the upcoming drop. And I was like, and you were like, yo, because, summer's coming up and stuff. And I was like, but bro, we're in spring. Wouldn't they want to drop something that's like, kind of gloomy, like a black and white era type of thing? And then they dropped it. And I was like, yo, this guy, are you are you do you have an informant or something in your corner? Like, how did you?
I'm just
because this is like the second or third time you predicted it correctly. I think the only time you got it wrong was third time. Sorry, I think the only time you got it wrong was when the second pack release came out because we all assumed it was going to be Johto, and so like,
no, I actually said Johto, and then before the leaks came out, I said, actually, I think it's gonna be Gen 4 Sinnoh, and then literally 4 or 5 hours later, the exact same thing that you're saying was happening. Then they're like, "How did you know? You're the leaker. How did you know?" And I was like,
Nintendo
it just kind of made sense.
Dina, come get your boy. Come get your boy. This guy's onto something.
And the reason is because they gave us the Mythical Island expansion, and it felt like, it followed, but they threw in a Celebi in there, and I was like, it's kind of weird to give a Celebi now, and it's not Gen 2.
No, Celebi is Gen 2. Celebi is Gen 2.
No, but not like what I mean is like, give a Celebi now.
Oh, okay.
Next is Gen 2.
Yeah. Fair.
Why not just wait?
Yeah,
that's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
They gave us Celebi because I felt like maybe they're not giving us Gen 2 and they were just trying to throw us off.
Like, I feel like a lot of people were just assuming it was going to be Gen 2 because all of the EX mons from Genetic Apex were pretty much Gen 1 mons. And there were like a lot of people were saying pretty much all the cards were, but we had Greninja, which is like Gen 5 or Gen 6.
Yep.
Right.
100%.
So I don't know. You the things you predict on this channel over here and on your own are scary accurate. So keep up the good work. Also,
real quick, another prediction. Next is Gen 2.
Well, y'all heard it here first. We're gonna find out, guys.
You're welcome. 4 for 4.
If he's right, you guys have to come back and just hit the sub button. And if he's wrong, you come back, you hit the sub button, and let us know that he was wrong. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, going back to that, like the other decks that are kind of like A tier, not S tier quite, were also winners of rare candy. Them being Charizard and Garchomp. Steam Zard goes harder, because Steam only requires the one energy, and Garchomp, the annoying thing was setting him up, and now it's just with Rare Candy, it's just all over the place, man. So Rare Candy really did shift the meta. I'm just surprised that Rare Candy is what's really sticking out from this pack over Solgaleo and Incineroar, because they're new cards.
I mean, would Solgaleo also be good if it wasn't for Rare Candy? Like, the two energy's awesome, but needing to find that middle stage middle stage.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. So they definitely benefit from the Rare Candy, but I feel like their impact so far hasn't been as great. Like it was nice week 1, the shiny new toy syndrome. But then people went back to old reliable Giratina, Darkrai.
Yeah, I think Giratina, Darkrai. I think Solgaleo is still kind of up there. I think Greninja, Giratina is a top one. Greninja Oricorio is a top one. I think some sort of Rampardos, Lycanroc. But then also something else that's surprising to me, it counters very good into a lot of things, is Carnivine, Arceus, and Crobat.
Carnivine, Arceus, and Crobat. Yeah. Like, that's
with
according
the
to
candy.
I'm on PokemonMeta.com, which is what you put me on, and
yes, sir.
I'm looking at it right now. Arceus, Crobat, Zubat. Oh no, Carnivine. And a Carnivine. Yep. Yeah. And it's pretty cool to see. Like, I've mentioned this on previous episodes, but every time a new pack comes out, in the beginning, like, it'll always be about the new cards. But then we'll start implementing new cards into old decks and retinker old formulas and make it work. And I feel like we're seeing this like super early into the meta, like week 2, right? So I think it's pretty cool, because Greninja, for example, has been around since day 1, and he was pretty good. I think got better with Gyarados EX.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then, he was here and there after that. And then now it's just full swing, just everywhere, winning tournaments and whatnot. So it's pretty interesting. And so what are your thoughts of this? How do you feel about the current meta?
I think the current meta is like really it's in such a healthy place. Because do you remember Genetic Apex? How annoying it was. Nothing but Mewtwo, Pikachu, Charizard, and then Mythical Island. It was like Gyarados, everything, right? And then the next pack, it was still Gyarados, everything. And then fast forward, it was Giratina Darkrai with a couple splashes here and there, but that was the one, literally the last set. However, with this one, I think the power of Rare Candy, there are still, like, Giratina Darkrai is still up there, but the variety is so healthy for the game. I'm super excited, right? It looks like every set they give us, there's just more and more cards, decks that are optimal to play in competitive, in tournaments and stuff like that. But also, they bring out older cards and give them new life, right? Like Big Man Blastoise. I love playing that card now, right? That thing is just, I think, is super strong. It's super slept on. But Greninja, we've already talked about. The one card that doesn't need Rare Candy as a stage 2 Magnezone. I mean, that's gonna be strong forever.
yeah. Magnezone is definitely like all thanks to Magneton.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Magnezone would just be like an average, like a pretty solid card if it weren't for Magneton. But I ditto that sentiment because Genetic Apex, it was Mewtwo, Pika, like what else was there? Char from time to time, and like the Starmies and stuff. I hated it.
Yeah.
And then it got worse with Celebi Superior, because then everybody was just running that, and it was just like, bro. So then I remember during that time, Blaine, Ninetales, Rapidash decks were popping off because everybody was running Celebi decks.
Yeah.
So there was that. I feel like the last set was a good start because it wasn't just Giratina, whatever, and Darkrai, but like it also had like little splashes here and there of like Gyarados. It had Palkia. So like I didn't know what I was gonna get, whereas in Genetic Apex, for example, it was like one of like 2 things or 3 things, and then the subset of that was like 1 thing.
I'd say in the highest level of like the rank, it was nothing but 3 decks. That could be the thing, right? Like rock paper scissors. It literally at the end of every ranked season could just come down to 3 decks. But it feels like because of the start of this set, there's so much variety. But like at the last week of ranked, it literally could be, because last set you're saying there was, I think it was literally just Darkrai, Giratina, Gyarados, Charizard. That's it. Little 3 trifecta.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I feel like no matter what, we're always gonna have like 3 to 5 like very, very meta decks, and so those are the people who are just out there to grind, like, will run it, to each his own. That's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's boring.
But now we have
like that's I'm
gonna
call it like it is.
It's definitely boring. But I feel like Genetic Apex was the worst time to like battle for me in my experience, because like.
Could you imagine if they gave us ranked though with Genetic Apex? I'm glad that they held off. The game would have. No one would have played anymore. I think.
Yeah.
It would have been so boring.
Like our card pool was so limited though, so it's not on that. It's not their fault that it would have been boring, but like strategically, it would have been a terrible time to like roll out ranked. I feel like they rolled it at a pretty solid time.
For sure, 100%. I think it's pretty solid.
But
too.
like. I think we're heading in a good spot, and I love how the meta shifts in terms of strategy. First, it was like offensive, then defensive, then backline setup with Drud, with the emergence of Drud, just ramping and stuff. First, it was stall, then ramp.
Yep.
Like last season.
No, it was first. It was ramp, right? Charizard, Mewtwo. Yeah, with a little bit of Pika aggro.
Oh yeah. True. Pika was the only hyper. Pika and Starmie were the hyper offense, and those 2 were like rampant stuff.
And then it went into stall.
Yeah, and then it started getting into stall, but like that's because Drudagon was like just a really good card.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
And then they followed that up with Rocky Helmet, which just
they were like, you know what? Yeah, let's
encourage to you. Yeah,
you guys love the
you guys like Drudagon? Let's double down on that. So then they gave us Rocky Helmet, but then last season we went back to ramp. Giratina, Darkrai. They were just kind of like bench setups, and then they come in and just destroy. But you know, they also introduced cards along the way that like kind of counter those things, like Cyrus, for example, right? It encouraged players to like mass hit the whole team and just go fishing for whatever you want, whatever target you want, take it out, and then so you know, but you were able to set up on your bench, but it wasn't always guaranteed to be safe. Because anything could happen, right? So I feel like the current meta is hyper offensive, and I'm here for it. But Rare Candy is probably the most game-changing card they've introduced in this entire game, like bar none.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like there are definitely S tier cards that have come out, you know, since the release, but this card is gonna be here till the end of till this app dies. Like,
100%.
There's never, like, it's just too good. It's just too good of a card.
That makes me go into my second thing that I wanted to talk about. Is in the official TCG they have regulations and what's it called? Rotation. They have rotation. I think it's every year. Like this past April, every card with a yellow border from a previous set, it was like set F or something, it was no longer in rotation, so you can only use cards from H, G, E. I don't remember the letters, right? Which takes out a lot of cards. Now, with them releasing a set every single month at the start of the next year, because you realize like they're all A1, A2, A3. When we get into B1, B2, B3, are they going to remove one of those, right?
Because like if they phase out.
Yeah, like what if it's A1 just done for the year, right? Maybe it's all of A just done for the year. It depends on when they give us B, right? Because if they give us B sometime this year, no shot. I think they'll give us B next year, right? And if they do that, they might just remove all cards from A1, right? Which means Magneton is gonna get hurt. Magnezone, there's no more self ramp, right? Greninja.
Yeah. Greninja's gonna be one of those.
Sabrina,
like
all those
Sabrina, cards. Like because of cards like Sabrina, like tools like that, I don't think they would. But I don't play the official TCG to know that. You know what I mean? There might have been like their version of Sabrina that was like just a staple. Their version of Cyrus that was a staple.
So when they do that, they just give us new cards that are the exact same thing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So it might actually be another Sabrina that does the exact same thing. But if they do that, they're gonna need some sort of eternal format because these aren't physical copies. We're spending money, right, on cards to use them. And if they're just like, hey, you can't use this anymore, thanks for $100+ last year, I'm gonna be pissed. I know a lot of people will be pissed.
Yeah.
They need to do something. If they gave us maybe like an eternal format, maybe that would be okay. Like, hey, during ranked, you're only allowed to use B and above. Sure. Okay, that's fine. But there's this eternal casual format where you can put the B's and the A's and the A's and the B's and the, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Like, I feel like at worst, it should be that.
Yeah.
At best, keep it all. You know, like make it a diverse pool. Like,
then you run into the issue that it's too overwhelming and there's too many cards for a 20-card deck.
Yeah, but that's a you problem for getting greedy. You
know no. But
there
like as a new player you join in, there's too many packs to open. You're like, I don't want, like as a business, as an actual game standpoint, it would make sense to do rotation, right? Here's the start of a new year. B, if you've never played Pokemon Pocket and you could only use B cards, it's a perfect time to jump in. Now you're always every new year getting new audience members, but you might be losing because they're like, I don't want to spend more money if they're just going to keep doing this.
So you're going to, like, the reason why I think that logic is flawed is because you're going to cater to the hundreds of people that might be potential new gamers at the expense of possibly losing your thousands of existing players.
So you're not actually losing because like how many people would you stop Pokemon Pocket if they started doing that rotation? Good question.
Probably.
You really think so?
Like, for this is why I say probably. Like, I like the game, but I also am enjoying it a lot. What really got me to stick around were like the rares that I pulled, you know, the crown rares and all that stuff. So like, if those ultimately get phased out, then it's like, it's just a dreadful side. Like, I just I'll immediately
phased out to an eternal format, but for like you would still have to like play.
Yeah, that's what I said. At worst, do that. At worst.
So let's say that's what they do. There's an eternal format, but there's ranked. You can only use B for this year. Next year is C cards. Would you stop playing Pokemon Pocket or would you keep playing? Honestly. Think about the fact if you spent any money as well, right? Because as a person who spent, like, not even as a content creator,
Possibly.
if I spent money on the game, I'll just keep playing. Like, there's no reason not to.
Like, for me, I still might, because like I play it, and I like stream it, record, make videos, whatever. But I do it because I'm having fun with the game.
Yeah.
Right. But then if I feel like I'm getting new gamed, you know what I mean? Yeah, I have those cards. Yeah, I can play in casual, but I didn't battle before rank came out as much as I did after rank came out because of the idea of rank.
Yeah.
So I like Dragonite, but I don't love him enough to like just start running him in casual. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna
So
sit
here's
around and
the
just be like,
thing.
yeah, but
Here's
Yeah.
the thing, though. Those cards are gone. They bring them back. Now there's a Dragonite EX, right? So with all these older cards,
which would
it's,
suck. I'm giving up 2 prize points. Hell no.
okay, let's say it's another just regular Dragonite, right?
Yeah,
Pikachu. Pikachu. There's so many Pikachus. There's so
Yeah.
many Eevees. There's so many Charizards.
Okay.
If they phase
Okay.
those cards out, they can give us those Pokemon again with different abilities and stuff. So
True. Like I
I think
I
it's a
understand
possibility.
that.
I don't know. I see the positive and negative from it, though.
I feel like I would see more of the negative, just because, like, for example, the people who like chase cards like that are full art, like the full art Sabrina is something I'm like seeking, right? And let's say by the end of the year I finally pull it, and then a month later they're like, nice pull, never play it again in rank.
So that's every
You know, I
card
would
game,
just-
though. That Bandai does that too. Bandai just started a rotation. A lot of One Piece players are upset with that, but also it's
Yeah.
very good as a new player perspective. Because, like, so
Yeah, but
me, right?
I'm
Yeah, let me hear it.
gonna raise one. I'm gonna raise
Yeah.
1 point for you.
This is a-
you mentioned
this is
like
a
all the
heck
other
of a
games.
sidebar. We're
Yo,
going-
This was not planned, by the way. So
Yeah,
anyways,
this is good, this is
Master
good.
Duel. I bring up Master Duel all the
Okay.
time. Master Duel's pool of cards is insane. It's Yu-Gi-Oh. They have thousands of cards, right? But like they have ban lists for cards that are, you know, super broken and stuff, but they don't have things where they like are like, yeah, you're never allowed to use Cyber Dragon decks ever again, or Yubel decks. I mean, unless they ban those specific cards or restrict them or whatever, they don't phase them out, you know? So like they still introduce like new cards, and they still update their ban lists every like whatever 45 days, a month, whatever it is, but they still have their insanely vast pool of like cards, and like it does seem overwhelming, but the information and the accessibility is really like a lot of cards are very accessible on Master Duel, and I feel
Okay.
like even though Pocket isn't as accessible, like for example Master Duel, you can craft cards with points once you accumulate points, whatever.
You gotta
but
help
in
me get
Pocket,
into Master Duel, man. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yo, it's super fun, very beginner friendly.
And
Like it's very rewarding.
When I
too.
look at it, it's very overwhelming. That's what I'm saying. The card pool is just like there's too much to know, right? There's too much to know.
Yeah.
How many meta decks are in Master Duel?
like a good, like maybe it's all, like I said, it's always like 5 to 10.
5 to
Right,
10 with
and
that
you-
many cards, and there's still only a certain amount of cores that just do the same thing.
Coincidentally, I have a dragon deck, and that is my main too.
Bro's really
gotta
Lance out here, man.
I'm actually Lance out here. What the heck? Yeah, I run Cyber Dragon. But anyways, so
boy.
like I feel like you can still enter the game, and they give you 2 free packs. Like this is like not the most player friendly, but it's still free to play friendly, is what I mean. So if you are like, yo, I'm gonna jump into this game, cool. You can always jump into the game. You can start, like, especially as a beginner, you get like crazy pack points, right? Like 200, 300 or some like absurd amount, right? So you can start pulling. You can get new cards from Wonder Picks or from packs, or you can go for old cards from the packs themselves. So it's not like really impossible, but I also see why they would phase out the old and in with the new, because like as time goes on, it might seem more and more overwhelming and less inviting to new players.
That's where I'm
right?
thinking,
So-
right? Like in a sense of like longevity for the game. They don't even have to do it that way. Like once we get into B, right? What they can do is every ranked season. If you guys are listening, Dina, this might be a good idea. Instead of just permanently.
Wait, hold on! Don't say that now. Don't say that now if I disagree.
If they are 100% thinking of a rotation system, instead of having a permanent rotation system, once we're into B, for every ranked system after that, they can say during this ranked season, A1 cards are not valid. during this one, A1A cards are not valid, which means A1 cards are, which means every ranked season for the future is always going to be different, always going to be like changing. One season you can't use Sabrina, the following you can, but you can't use Drud, right? Like stuff like that. So I think that could be pretty healthy, but there's only one that you just can't use at that point, right? And I don't know how many sets they need to get to before that would be a viable thing, right?
So in the official TCG, like you were talking about the digital platform or like official
official and everywhere. So like in April of this year, they took out a bunch of cards, one being like a Kirlia for a Gardevoir deck that really ran that Gardevoir deck and was the main engine of like helping it out like with its ability. Think of like Magneton type of an ability, and then you couldn't use that Kirlia anymore. However, the Gardevoir deck is actually still doing good. It forces people. There was a Greninja. There was a lot of Radiant cards, right? Radiant Greninja is a basic that you play, and if you discard an energy from your hand with its ability, you draw 2 cards or something, right? So it helped you cycle and get through. But now you don't have that. You don't have that as a staple in every single deck to just help you cycle. But you have newer cards that do other things kind of similar to that.
Okay. Like I see the positives and the negatives.
Yeah.
I feel like just because I'm greedy and I really want to like I pulled these crowns, bro. Let me use my crowns. If they were to tell me like, yo, you can't use them, I'd
in
just
real
be
life though,
bro.
like in real life in these games, imagine you pull a God Rare or something and you can't use it at a certain point. Like the One Piece right now, the full art manga illustration cards that are worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars. First of all, no one's playing that in a tournament unless they're just balling like that.
Loaded. Yeah.
But now they're just like kind of useless, right? They become a collector's item. However, in real life, that's different. In real life, you have tangible things. In fact, I would argue.
I was about to bring that up.
I would argue, the rarity and the cost goes up now, right? Because no one's like, you know what I'm saying? So, but in the game, it's like, if they do give us rotation, and we would all be mad, I feel like that's when they would also say, oh, by the way, you could also trade 2 stars, 3 stars in crowns.
Yeah, like they would have to really sweeten the deal because like I'm not holding these cards that they banned.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? At least I can display it somewhere. I can like Logan Paul it up and like have it on a chain or whatever. But like if it's a digital card, I'm not gonna just like walk around with my phone just like on my like take to my chest.
And that's the issue I have. Everything like about keeping the game longevity sounds good. I'm a content creator, so like the longevity, if I have to keep spending money to keep my channel growing and the brand growing, that it's a investment, right? That's what you tell me to think of it as an investment. But as a normal player, that would not feel great. After a year, a new player, that's good, but as a normal player, I'm like, yo, I spent this much, and you're telling me I can't use these anymore. F that. So like, it's a slippery slope and one heck of a side.
That's
tangent.
why I feel like after the first, we're gonna stick to the tangent because I'm not done.
No, this is a good one. This is the episode.
This is the app. This is the app right here. After the first year, I might feel deflated, but then if it keeps happening, I might at some point just be like, here we go again. Here we go again. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's gonna push me away because I'm gonna start dreading All-Us the end of the year instead of rather than look forward to events in the game and stuff like that. Like it's gonna be like, all right, we just released the pack in December. By the way, you're not gonna be able to use it next month. So
the only way I could think, they could fix this, and it would actually help because if they did a rotation with the way ranked currently is, I personally, just as a player, someone who apparently has a brain to think a couple steps ahead, calling Alola correct 30. Anyway, so I think it wouldn't be good long term for Pokemon Pocket. In the short term, it might be okay, but long term, it wouldn't be great. However, if they released a new game mode, not Eternal format, you have casual, you have ranked, and then you have a different, fun, semi-competitive game mode that gives you rewards for playing, that allows you to play all of your cards. Not Eternal, because it could be Eternal, but like it's a game mode that gives you reward. It incentivizes you to, hey, this is where you come not to get an emblem for ranked. This is where you can get the Eternal emblem, right? If you get 45 wins, dude, that would be insane. 45 wins.
A great way to bring it back,
using all of your cards. Eternal.
You have access.
People would love that. People would love that. it gives you an incentive to, hey, I can play here, and it doesn't matter if these cards aren't accessible. Sorry, yeah.
I feel like that's a consolation prize, but
Yeah.
that's a jumping off point. If they were to just strip it from us and just be like, nah, you play it in casual, I promise you within like halfway through the first year, like the second year, I would just drop the game because like there's no way like I would
don't
be
know.
like, oh my god, we're coming up to the end of it, because like I would dread having to go through that whole thing all over again, right?
I really enjoy casual, man. So that's another thing I want to talk about. If you don't like, we could jump to that.
I let's do it.
So shout out to my
actually,
community.
real
What's
quick.
up? Yeah.
Real quick, one last point.
Yeah.
I also realized while you were talking about your point earlier, they even do it in the video games. Like they don't port over all the generations into Sword and Shield. You know, they don't port over all the generations to. You don't have access to all of them in Scarlet Violet. So like, when they had the tournaments, like the VGC stuff, like it was very limited to like, you know,
Only
a
specific
certain
cards.
pool.
Yeah, no.
Specific Pokemon, right? And those are digital. It's not like I can hold my, you know, Pokemon. So they very well might phase it out. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I would just feel like I would dread it. But realistically, I would probably play it. But whatever, we won't talk about it.
That's what I wanted to
Anyways,
jump
what were
to,
you gonna
like
say?
ranked, right? Everyone here is like, I love ranked, and I'm sure people watching this, they're like, oh, I love ranked. It's the best thing ever. It's fun. I don't really love it. I think, again, thanks to my community and reading my analytics, for the first month of ranked, I did it wrong. I thought I was supposed to play in ranked. I thought that was what was going to get people watching. I forgot that.
Where was
Thankfully,
that?
yeah, for me, it was like people like the spicy deck cooks, and I love the spicy deck cooks, right? I love these however many sets we have, just taking them to get together and putting a 20 card deck and just going having fun in casuals, right? And my audience loves that too, and that's what my analytics tell me, so I'm happy for that. So again, coming from a point where like, if they did that only for ranked, that's not really affecting me, and I'm trying, honestly, I'm trying to push that narrative onto my community. Not that if they take stuff away from you, but like ranked is fun, but let's call it what it is. It's a glorified PvP event, like emblem event. That's all it is.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that crazy, especially with the current system, right? I'm not trying to lose my mental going up and down. Once I hit masters, I put it down. Some other people, some other content creators, shout out to them. They're reaching for a top 100 every single month. They love, you know, to grind, but like to play the same deck every day, over and over. I can think of 1,000 things I would much rather do than play the same deck over and over again.
Also, I have to be completely transparent.
Yep.
I think I got up to like gray ball because like ranked came out and I like forced myself to get there.
It's not fun, bro. It's not. Like I'm sorry.
The reason why I stream it is because I do challenge videos. That's why I haven't dropped it in a minute, because like, you know, everybody's busy and stuff.
Bro,
so I'm just
do
like,
the challenge videos in casual. Like you'll get 1 or 2 comments like, this isn't even ranked. All right, bud, go kick rocks in ranked.
Yeah, so that's why I did like the Masochist challenge and stuff, like while I was trying to wait for people and stuff, like whenever, you know, because it's way more entertaining to put an added restriction on it than playing ranked. Like I told you, by the second or third 45 five streak win of emblem events, like I dreaded it. At first I grinded out, I got it done in the first day. Like first night I got all 45 wins. Second time it took me like a week. I kind of stretched it out, and by the second win streak event, I did it like an hour before like it was gonna expire, just to get that emblem, and I didn't even equip it. I just got it. But so for me, I think I feel you. Like I honestly even less. Like I don't even play ranked. I enjoy playing this against my friends. Like my friends and I, whenever we meet up, we run decks and run battles, and you know we try to cook.
Yeah,
but,
honestly, when I want to get competitive, I'll join the tournament. Like ranked, I'm still Ultra Ball 3. All right, I haven't climbed. I was Masters, and they put me to Ultra Ball 3, right? So I haven't really. I just barely play here and there. It's just like I said, I can think of 1,000 things I would rather do than play the same deck.
Play the same. Yeah,
as soon as I hit Masters, I'm putting it down. But I'm also focusing on what my analytics tell me, and that is create spicy decks. So that's my number one priority every single day when I make videos on the channel. I'm probably going to climb towards the end of the month, which is not recommended because that's when everybody's going to be playing the same top 3 meta decks.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, I don't like if they give me an ultra emblem. Boo hoo. You know, it's like, you know, it's not the end of the
Oh,
world.
no.
You're not
Yeah,
a good,
yeah.
you're not a bad player. Honestly, it comes down to you had a lot of time and you have no issues playing the same thing over and over again. And
Yeah, you have you were
you're-
built for it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly. I'm
Yeah.
not built for that, bro. I can't
Yeah,
I
neither
can't
am
sit
I.
at the DMV. I can't sit down. Speaking of which, I need to go take a break real quick.
Yeah,
2
I
seconds.
do think.
All right, I'm back. Let's jump right into the rare candies. The best winning Pokemon for the rare candies. In fact, let's have some fun real
Biggest
quick.
winners.
Biggest winners. What did I say? Biggest Pokemon?
Best win. I mean, it's
Same thing.
same potato, whatever.
All right. Who are your top 3? And then I'll tell you my top 3. However, I can't say Greninja because I was glazing Greninja this whole video, and you can't say Dragonite.
Okay, cool. I wasn't going to say Dragon.
Oh, okay, never
I
mind.
don't think Dragonite is the winner of the rare of like
Well, obviously.
it benefits for sure, but you watch your tone now. You
right.
watch out. You
All right.
watch out. I'm about to put Dragonite on the map.
Yeah.
So let's take turns. That way it gives me time to buys me time to think because I can't think off the
got
top
you.
of my dome.
You want me to go first?
But the first thing I want to no, I got this. I got one though. So the first one I want to mention is Meowscarada. Again, I feel like the formula for the best the biggest winners of rare candy are stage 2 that require little to no energy.
This is true. No,
Investment,
I
right?
give you that.
And-
That's solid. That's a good one.
And so Meowscarada with how, Giratinas, Darkrai's, they're all EX mons. They're going to get slapped and they're going to get slapped hard. It only needs 2 energy to get online. I feel like Meowscarada has to be one of them, one of the winners that I feel like isn't really talked about too much.
No, I agree. I'm gonna throw in another caveat. They can't be any of the new stage 2 cards, like no Incineroar. I don't think you like it. Meowscarada is semi-new, but not really because it's not this newest set. So we'll allow it.
It can't be Celestial Garden. Okay.
Yeah. So for me,
I'll allow it. Okay, Judge. Okay, Judge.
I'll allow it. For me,
I'll allow it.
another grass type, Serperior. Yeah, we're bringing Celebi back, baby.
Don't say that. No, don't say it. No,
Oh, bro.
no. Is that have people been trying to run that?
I'm people.
Because I
yes.
feel like your people.
I've been
okay,
running.
'cause I feel
Serp-
like
What's up?
okay. No, I was about to say I feel like I don't really see people talk about it.
No,
So
yeah,
it's always just
it's
the
a
Steams
secret
and
sauce,
Steam
man.
Zard and
Serp
All right,
one
you
shots
heard it here first.
Oricorio with 2 energy, right? Because 70 damage, they're gone. Celebi wrecks everything with 12 coin flips. And I throw in a Delmise too for 2 energy. They trap them. I love it here. And the Leaf Cape, bro, an additional. I'm 160 HP Celebi, 170 HP Delmise. Sign me up.
God, no. I think you might be onto something. Like with the amount of support grass types have with Erica and now the new Leaf Cape, and we got Serperior, who you don't even need to set up anyways.
Yeah, for real.
If you lead Delmise EX or regular,
shit, you could lead.
a
You could lead
great-
Serperior. What's the Snivy? Turn 1, give an energy. Turn 2, smack him for 70.
yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
a problem. Yeah, it's a problem.
What's your second one?
Okay, there's I'll mention. I'll start with an honorable mention. I feel like Luxray is one that I've been running for fun in cash from time to time during my commutes.
Yeah.
And it's just such a fun thing to. It only requires 3 energy, so I run Pachirisu in it to get it online, and it's just once I get 1 energy, I'm good because I'll retreat, which wastes 1 energy. I'll rare candy to evolve, slap an energy, and then Volkner, even if it's just a 1 energy, and just bang out the first thing you're trying to set up. So if it's Giratina in the back, you gonna take damage, and I know you're not gonna come forward and hit me because you'll just kill yourself, or you're gonna have to expend a healing item. But by the time you go through that and set it all up again, Luxray is cool. Luxray has no retreat cost. It's just a really cool mon. But I feel like Serperior also follows that blueprint that I was talking about. Low energy investment, just because his ability is just doubling grass energy. So yeah, no, I would say Luxray. I would say Luxray.
All right, so that's your second pick, not your honorable mention.
I would say, honestly, I'm gonna say that's my honorable mention for now.
Okay.
For now.
So
I'm
you
just,
still
I'm
have
just
two
gonna
more?
fire up the game too, just to see. Just to see.
Just
yeah.
to see.
I got it. I'm pulling it up on my phone as we speak, so I'm like, yo, let me quickly track. But yeah, what do you got?
For me, I should probably do the same, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Ooh, this is a tough one. I think Genjar. For sure.
EX.
Both
Is-
because turn one, the one with one energy, the baby non-EX version, you slap them for 50 and they can't support, and then your EX on the bench every turn you give it an energy, you're good to go. I love running both of them.
Okay.
Super toxic. They just can't play the game at that point. Throw in an Oricorio in your deck too. You're chilling. Oh,
Speaking of toxic,
Yeah.
I should probably mention this one. I mentioned it on the last episode. Scolipede, 2 energy, Poison Barb.
is that your
like-
second?
I would say that's my second, just because of the emergence of Poison Barb.
It's a better
With the
Clodsire.
introduction-
I made a video
Yeah.
because of you. In fact, I gave you full credit at the start, I think. Shout out to Royce.
Oh,
you should
wow.
watch my videos, bro. You know?
No, the thing is, every time I'm like, all right, let me watch some YouTube. It's like 7,000 videos, and I'm like, damn, let me watch one. And then the
Yeah.
next day, it's like another 7,000, and I'm like, yo, okay, I gotta keep up with the meta. Okay. So one day I gotta sit down and just study the meta.
You know,
and like I know, like whenever I'm in that zone where I'm like, yo, I need to lock in real quick for the game, I'm like, let me just watch your videos, because your videos to me are very like entertaining. Like they don't lose me. You're not condescending, so there are a lot of Pokemon tubers out there who make me feel like a dumbass, and I don't like that. I don't like feeling like an idiot. So they're not
Sick.
condescending. They're fun to watch, and you explain and show. So it's pretty cool. I feel like your videos have like a good like melange of like very positive attributes. So I feel
Appreciate
you're
that,
usually
man.
my go-to.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
You and Maddie. Maddie's dope. Shout out
yeah.
to Maddie.
Real quick, back to the 7,000 uploads. I didn't fully understand why. Like I knew why I was doing it, but I heard it the other day. I was watching a video, and the person on this podcast encapsulated it perfectly. Right? If you could leave, if you don't have any of your books, and you could only leave like one part of your advice to the next generation. And they said it perfectly, and I was like, dude, that's exactly what I do, and I like that's kind of my focus. They said do so much volume that it is impossible for you to not succeed.
Okay.
And I was like,
Just-
that makes sense. That's exactly that's kind of
Yeah.
my thought process. Do so much good quality
Yeah.
volume that it's like, look at us, we're almost at 100,000 subscribers, bro. Like, look
Look at you.
Honestly, by the time this goes up, the channel might already be at 100,000. So
100,000. You might even have the plaque up. Goddamn. Okay.
I
Okay. Congratulations in chat, please.
I don't think YouTube's
for the
gonna be that
boys
fast.
at Tubi.
Bam, 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 bam. I don't think YouTube's gonna be that quick. But my last, what were you gonna say? Something? My bad.
Yeah, no. I was gonna tell you. You can keep going.
My last Pokemon is Blastoise, Big Bang Blastoise.
I don't like Blastoise.
I love him.
I don't like
Primarina,
Blastoise.
Irida, Lily, Max Sustain. Get 5 energy. We're slapping you for 160. You can't stop me. Who gonna stop me now? TRG. Good luck.
I got something that might not stop you right away, but it'll slow you the hell down.
Yep.
It's my boy Togekiss. Togekiss, the only thing that was annoying about it was the fact that it was a 2-stage bond. But now with Rare Candy, you skip that. And not only that, it ran like
Bro, I
after
gotta
the
put
first
that on
attack,
the
it's
list.
just always, yo, am I not cooking? Should I be making these goddamn videos? Should we be enemies? Should we be rivals in this scene? But like
No, man.
60 after turn 1, it's 120, and then 120, and then 120, and 20, and then we got Mommy Cynthia.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
To
say
support.
Serena. Everyone's
No,
calling
no.
Serena mommy. I'm like, that's a Pokemon.
No, that's Thickums.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. But like with Cynthia too, like you're dishing out so much damage, right? And it only requires, again, following the way I think, it only requires 2 energy. So it's not a crazy investment. It has decent bulk. And then when it goes down, it's only 1 prize point. I like try to veer away from EX just because of like giving up 2 prize points is, obviously like a big hit. But yeah, no, Togekiss I feel like should definitely be up there in terms of like whatever you're building. And then it also, you can add Mythical Slab. It has a couple of good search cards in it too, right? Like for the psychic type. So
Yep.
I feel like that and Gallade.
That's a
are,
really
like, fire cards.
That's a really solid pick, man. Speaking of solid picks, what do you guys think? What are your picks? Let us know in the comments. Don't say what we said. Don't be like us. Any other Pokemon Stage 2 that you think is worth a mention?
don't say Rampardos and Steam. Like we all know Rampardos, Steam Zard. We know.
Leave that out.
We know. Hit us with something spicy, and Zatu might make a video and shout
Definitely
you
will.
out.
I definitely will.